Hey up guys, so in this lesson I'm going to talk to you about key signatures. Now key signature tells you which key you are playing in. There are 12 keys in total if you want to think about it from the perspective of how many tones that we have in a chromatic scale. There are 12 tones. Now some of these tones we will know them as being enharmonic. So for instance F sharp is also the same as G flat. But we're just going to look at the key signatures so that you can just read them really quickly, really easy, and I'll show you where to do this. And what we need is our buddy, the battle ends and down goes Charles's father mnemonic. Yes, it's another mnemonic video. We'll start off with the flat keys. So we're going to go flat keys here. Worth noting, if you count along here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 letters there. And if we go backwards, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. So that adds up to 14. And if we have one more key, which is the key that has no sharps or flats, this is the easiest one to remember because if I just draw it here, it just looks like that. There's no sharps or flats on it, and that is the key of C major. That's the nicest, easiest key to get hold of in your head. But we want to add these keys here with the flats and the sharps. Now, if you want to see where these flats and these sharps come from, then you need to stick around and watch the video at the end of this video because that gets into where these sharps and where these flats come from. It's quite fascinating and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So the first key that we want to get into here with the order of the flats, we've got to add on a B flat on here. So if I put this on here, look, if you know your notes on your stave, you've got every good boy deserves favour, or the way that I do it is every good band deserves fans. That flat there. Now, here is the easiest way around it. Just like we know that this is C major, the easiest way to memorize this is that it's just F. It's just the key of F, because this will make sense in a moment when I show you the next key. And what we've done essentially there, we've just used the first flat of this sequence here in this acronym. So we've got B. This B becomes a B flat. We're going to put that on there. So now we're going to add the next one. So we're going to go battle ends. So if I put those on, we're going to do a B there, and then we're going to put an E flat on there. So that tells me I've got a B flat and an E flat, and that's what's going on here. This is why we memorize this battle ends and down goes Charles's father, because that's going to give us the order. Now here's how you know what the key is. Like I say, remember that this is F, makes life a lot easier. If you want to know why it becomes an F, then you watch that video at the end of here. To find the key in a flat key, it's the next to last. Remember that. The next to last flat is the key. Next to last flat is the key. So you can see here that this is a B flat. Don't forget to include the flat as well. We're looking at this line here and we're saying, okay, that's a B, but include that flat on there as well. So this would give us the key of B flat. Now let's move along onto the next one. Battle ends and. Well, let's add those to our key signature here. We've got battle ends, and then we're going to go down here for the A. So we make the A into a flat. Battle ends and. But remember, the next to last flat is the key. So if we count back one here, battle ends, that's E. And it's got a flat on it, so that would tell me the key signature there, E flat. It's the easiest way to see it. Let's keep on going. Battle ends and down. So let's put those in. Battle ends and down. So you can see there, we're just adding one flat as we go along until we run out of them. So you can see we're going to have 7 in total. Battle ends and down. And. So it's the A there that gets the flat on it, and that is the key. Let's just keep going on. Battle ends and down goes. Battle ends and down goes. Right, okay, same thing. You're probably already looking. Battle ends and down. So we know that if we put a circle around that, that's going to be D flat. That's the key of D flat major. So the next one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flats here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flats. Now, watch what goes on here, and you're going to see something happen that might be a bit confusing, but let me take that confusion out of this for you. So we're going to go battle ends and down goes. Now look, C flat. I'm going to put the C flat in here. If you know anything about the C flat, then you'll know that B and C are a semitone apart. So if we flatten a C, we actually get a B. So let me just put that in brackets under there. So even though it is a C flat, it will sound a B note. This is where it starts to get a little bit confusing, and actually you'll start to see why other key signatures are a better way of understanding it. But we need to be able to apply battle ends and down goes. So we would still think about that next to last flat there as being the name of the key. So we've got a G flat. We have one more left. We've gone battle ends and down goes Charles's. Now we've got father. So let's put this on here. Battle ends and down goes Charles's. I put this one down here. Father. You can see that that flat there is actually an F flat. Well, if we think about an F flat, E and F are next door to each other. If we flatten an F, we actually get an E. So an F flat here, it's going to sound an E. That could be pretty confusing. Now, we've got to the end of all these flats. Battle ends and down goes Charles's. So this would be the key of C flat. I'm going to come back to this one. It's a special case, this C flat. We've run out of flats there now, and you can see that what we've actually done is we've manifested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key signatures there. And this is telling you where all your chords, all your scales, all your arpeggios are going to be. Let's have a look at this again in sharps now. The thing that we need to do with sharps is we just use the same mnemonic, but we use it going backwards. So the thing we remember with battle ends and down goes Charles's father is it has this palindrome effect. If we take that order of words of battle ends and down goes Charles's father and reverse it, we get father Charles goes down and ends battle. It's always going to be there to confirm to you that it's the same words. Now, we're going to put the sharps on in this order. So the first sharp we're going to put on is this F sharp. So we take the line where the F is and we put the sharp on it. And what essentially an accidental is doing is it's telling you that that's what's altering that note until you get a different instruction. This is the easiest way to understand this. What we do is we take the last sharp and we raise it a half step, and that is the key. We've got an F sharp here. What we do is we raise that half step. That's going to give us a G. That is the key there, guys. That's the key. How cool is that? So that's the easiest way for us to remember this. And I'll circle them to show you which ones we're doing. And in fact, if I put a circle around that, because although there's one sharp, it's actually the last sharp that's on there. So if we go through this sequence again, so Father Charles, let's go. Father Charles. Take the last sharp, raise it a semitone. This is the C sharp. Raise the C sharp up a half step. We get D. So this is the key of D major. Let's carry on. Father Charles goes. That would be where the G note would be. So G sharp, raise that a semitone. Take a G sharp, move it up a half step. We get an A. So there's the key of A. Let's do it again. Father Charles goes down. So we've got Father Charles goes down. The last sharp is a D sharp. Take a D sharp, raise it a half step. It tells you that it is an E. So this is the easiest way to find this. You don't need the circle of fifths or any of that stuff to do this. This is by far the easiest method. And you can do this all in your head and you don't need a chart in front of you. So Father Charles goes down and... Father Charles goes down and. If we take the last sharp, that's an A. If we take that up a half step, we're going to get a B. That's the key signature. Wonderful. Let's move on to the next one. Father Charles goes down and ends. Right, now watch what goes on here. Father Charles goes down and ends. Now this is an E sharp. We've got something similar going on here. If we take an E, next door to it is an F. If we go E sharp, that's going to give us an F. So what happens is this note here, it's written as an E sharp, but it actually sounds an F. But we still do the same thing here with this last sharp. That is an E sharp, which is sounding an F, and we have to raise that a semitone, half step, to find the key of F sharp. Here you can see that it's quite complicated to think about it that way because we've got this double think thing with this E sharp, F, which one is it? Raising that a half step to find the F sharp, maybe not that obvious. A little bit easier is its counterpart in the flats because remember there are 6 sharps here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the flat keys we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The key of G flat and the key of F sharp are enharmonic, just like I said right at the beginning. It's giving you a little foreshadowing what was going to come there. Which one is going to be the easiest one for you to remember? Is it going to be easier for you to remember that an E sharp is an F and then you raise it a half step to get to the F sharp major? Or is it easier to just look at that next to last flat and tell you that that is the key? And then all you have to remember is that C flat is actually a B. It's one of those things that you have to figure out, guys. This is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Which one is going to be your preference? It's how you think about it. Let's just finish this off now. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. So we get a B sharp here, guys. Some people really don't like how this works. If we take a B and we raise it one, then we get a C. So sonically, what we hear is a C. That is a C. But we've got to do the same thing again. If we've got this C here, we know that the B sharp is actually a C. We have to raise this C a half step, and that equals C sharp. So that key is the key of C sharp. Now, the funny thing is the enharmonic equivalent of C sharp is actually D flat. So if we look at the key of D flat over here, this and this sounds exactly the same. It's two different ways of thinking about it. This is going to throw you because not only do we have this B sharp here, which we have to think of as a C, we also have this E sharp that is still in there that we have to think of as an F. So there's lots of double thinking in the key of C sharp. And this is why it can be tricky to think these things out. But the way I see this, and this is the way I see it on the guitar string. If I just do this as a guitar string and put fret wires on here, this just shows you everything in the chromatic scale as well. I'll go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. We've got enough there. So that would be the tonic for the key of C. So we have to have something in here. And what we've got to decide is it going to be a C sharp or a D flat that we want to think of? And personally, I would think of that as being a D flat. This is for keys. This is for looking for tonic notes. This is why learning the names of the notes on your fretboard or on your strings is super important. It's to find the tonic of the key. Now let's look at this. Do you notice D sharp? Is there a key of D sharp? No, there isn't. But there is a key of E flat. So let's put that in there. So this is the sequence of the keys. Now we have a problem here. This is going to be the F sharp or the G flat. This is that enharmonic equivalent idea that we had before. So this is a personal preference. Now I kind of think that any of these keys here that use the sharps, the key of G is a key that you would play in a lot more for pop and rock songs. Same goes for D, A, E, and B. So these all kind of sound very much like popular music and rock songs. Whereas when you get into flat keys, those generally point in the way of jazz and blues. I'm being very broad and sweeping in that statement. The key of F is a pop key as well. So you could cluster that with that because, you know, it's only got one flat. C major is the most popular key because it's just the white keys on the piano, and it means that you don't have to evolve any of those black keys and get those hard piano chords. But on guitar, those are the first chords we learn, are the chords from C major. So it is completely up to you what you want to put in here. Now, if I'm thinking rock, then I'd think in F sharp. But if I'm thinking in jazz and blues, I would think in G flat. That would make a bit more sense to me here. G to the A here. We've got something in the middle here. There is no key of G sharp, notice. So what do we have instead? We have the enharmonic equivalent, which in this case would be the A flat. In between A and B, there is no A sharp key. We're going to have the enharmonic equivalent of that, which would be the B flat. So we've got the B flat there, and that would be the B flat. And you can see that what we've done is we've gone from C to C there. So we've filled up that whole chromatic scale. That means that we've discovered all the tonics of all 12 keys, and we have all 12 key signatures. But what we can do now is think to ourselves, which are the ones that we're going to write down if you're composing? Sometimes, you know, there's no escaping it. Sometimes you have to go to the key of C sharp for a little bit, but this isn't used as much because people have realized that reading the key of D flat is much easier. Here you've got 7 sharps to think about. Here you've got 5 flats to think about. It sounds the same, so why make life hard for yourself? These all come out of a specific pattern, and if you want to learn how these patterns are all created, then you want to watch this video here.